Carina.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to share a story with the name The Woman and the Dragonfly. This is a story I wrote, and this story is a part of a collection of stories from around the world. Stories from and with water. There are stories from people in Russia, Sweden, United States, UK, many places. And well, I'm just going to read you the story. The Woman and the Dragonfly. Once upon a time, yes, because that is the place where this story begins. Once upon a time, there was a young girl who was severely afraid of water, although she loved playing with the ocean waves just at the edge of the breaking point at the shore, even though she found it very funny and exciting to put her little boats of bark, sticks and leaves in the creeks and rivers and watch them being carried away by the flowing streams. She herself did not dare to go into these sources of water. She did not dare to go into any source of deep and flowing water. She deeply longed to, but she was absolutely sure that if she did, she would immediately be pulled down and drown. As a child, she never learned to swim because of this fear. In school, she refused to go into water during swimming classes, which made her teacher furious. However, she did not trust that this angry woman was the one to keep her safe in the water. She did not trust her own capability to swim and float either, and she certainly did not trust water to carry her. Years later, she still carried the wish to be able to swim within her heart. Not because she was forced to by anyone, but because of her deep, deep love for water and for her longing to be with water without fear. One midsummer day, she sat by a quiet forest lake among the pine trees. As she sat there, she felt this strange pull to go into the water. Somewhere inside of her, an ancient memory began to take form and float up to the surface of her mind, and she felt that she somehow belonged to the water, was a part of water, and that water was a part of her. At her very first arrival to this earth walk, she had peacefully rested inside her mother's womb, surrounded by water, and she remembered this peace. So she rose up and stepped into the lake. The water was cold and fresh as it embraced her ankles. She stepped out deeper and deeper, and as the water touched her belly, fear began to rise within her. Then a shimmering blue dragonfly appeared. Hovering in front of her eyes, she admired its beauty, and as it began flying around her, she felt safe, and she remembered her connection with water once again. The dragonfly flew in front of her in a joyous dance, and step by step, she walked further out into the lake until the water finally reached over the top of her head. That evening, she stayed in the lake for a very long time. She learned how to swim as the dogs do. She learned how to swim as the turtles do. She learned how to float on her back and let the water carry her, embrace her, and she felt at one with water. She felt joy. She felt at home. From that day on, no longer did she fear water. From that day on, no longer did she fear life. By now, the girl has turned into a woman with silver in her hair. Many years have passed since the time when she was afraid of water, and water itself has brought her many teachings along the way. Water, that is the amazing living organism that is a part of each cell within her human body. Water that is all around her. This water that she shares with every living being upon the earth. Water that is the source of life.
Thank you, Carina.